Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. Firstly, thank you, Mr. Chairperson, Mr. Liu, for your brief introduction. Thank you very much to the audience for making a time here to listen to some of our presentations. And I know that this is not an easy session. It's a session after lunch, and the lunch is quite a good one. And I strongly feel that the tendency to fall asleep is quite strong. But whatever it, I hope let's do it in an informal manner. I will just go through some of the important salient points of Serba Dinamik Holdings. And I believe quite a number of you knew about the company, has the necessary informations. So I believe the Q&A session will be actually more beneficial for everybody. But just in case if you are new to the company, we would just like to go through. This slide just shows that the company is a listed entity in Bursa, Malaysia. This is the information as of 18 March, which managed to put the company at a share price of 3.89 with market capitalizations of 5.71 billion ringgit Malaysia. And I think it is about 2 years plus we have been listed onto the stock exchange, Bursa Malaysia, and we have worked hard to fulfill the commitment and what we believe we can achieve on a year-to-year basis. And so far, for the past 2 years, I think we have more or less meet the commitment and the focus that we have put forward. And this slide basically gives explanations of the background of the company. We call it as a strategical business model, and what incorporated inside there is the issues of sustainability and growth. So you will see that we are grouping it under a terminology, what we call it as Global Integrated Engineering Services Provider. The core competency of the business that we are focusing on is the operation and maintenance. And operation maintenance is what actually make the company be able to go through all the downturns of the economic globally so far. We have undergone as an entrepreneur way back about 26 years ago. I've gone through 2 rounds of downturn, and we are still here today because of the key competency as a maintenance, because maintenance is a service which is needed regardless of how the economic situation is in any part of the world. So we managed to go through those difficult hours. And the second core revenue driver capability will be EPCC, engineering, procurement, constructions, and also commissioning. This is more or less, people say it as a main contractor who has the capability to construct, to build, and also hand over the asset. And it entails inside there the civil capability, the electrical capability, instrument capabilities, plus other smart city components or smart technology components put inside there together. And we have what we call it as the other products and services, which comprises of IT solution capability and also education and training. And these 2 capabilities we are nurturing at the moment, and we hope that soon we can roll it out as a business entity of its own, so that it can also be listed at par with operation and maintenance, EPCC, not listed as a listed entity. It goes at the same level in terms of the revenue contribution to Serba Dinamik Holdings Berhad. And of course, another important point, we ensure that the client base that we are focusing on are companies that have the ability to pay after the job is being done. Yeah? So you will see that all these are those customers. Sectors that we are serving, industry serve, oil and gas, power generation, water treatment industry. Of course, out of all this, I would say that oil and gas still contribute at the moment at least around 85% of the total revenue. We want to enlarge our positioning into the power generation and also the water treatment industry. Geographical exposure, very important to us, is listed here: Malaysia, Southeast Asia, Central and South Asia, Middle East, Europe, Africa. And I would say United States of America should also be inside here. We also have another sustainability business model, what we term it as asset ownership. In asset ownership, we look at asset, we come in to acquire it, meaning to say that we become a shareholder, and we negotiate to develop the asset, which give us the EPCC revenue or the component. And once the assets is up running, then we would prefer that Serba Dinamik comes in to operate and maintain, so that we have the recurrent revenue coming in. So an example like power plant is very easy. We come in, we negotiate, we take up 30%, 40%, we negotiate the EPCC component of it, and after the assets have been up running, we sign up the operations and maintenance to the entire tenure durations of the concession area, which is talking about in Malaysia 21 years, in some other country 15 years, and it's quite long tenure, what we're trying to say. So as a result of it, we have recurrent revenue coming in. Very much to positions the company to have a sustainable, long recurrent revenue to the company. Then some of the key informations, key facts for 2018. We have managed to bring the company from number 7 to number 4. This is 2016, we are ranked number 7 by MPRC. MPRC is Malaysian Petroleum Resources Corporation. It's an entity under the Prime Minister's Office looking into the developments of the petroleum related entity. And every year they will make a ranking within the oil and gas player. So in 2017, this is the latest, because 2018 will come out maybe somewhere around September in 2019, after all the compulsory deadlines of the auditor account is being submitted by the respective entity. So we have managed to push ourselves up to number 4. And number 1, of course, in my AC. Number 2 will be Sapura Energy. Number 3 is Dialog Group. And number 4 is Serba Dinamik Holdings Berhad. So this is where we are, which we have managed to achieve for 2017. And the license, of course, we also increase up, not really that very critical. We are 26 years in operations. I would say that all the challenges and also the experience that we have gone through, very useful for us to make ourselves more matured, to sustain the incoming challenges as entrepreneur or in the business world. As far as EPCC is talking about 12 years, this is very important. We have again firm up a dividend policy which sets at least 30% of PAT as the dividend policy. And I think from the day of the from the day of the listing until today, average we have managed to issue out a dividend of 30.3% per year if you total up all the quarterly issuance. And this policy will still maintain for the operations of 2019. Order book is very important. The achievement as of February 2019, we managed to achieve an order book of Ringgit Malaysia 8.3 billion, We target and we are working hard to achieve ringgit Malaysia 10 billion end of December 2019. So this is what we are aiming at. And with all the efforts and teams discussion participations going on, we have the level of confidence that it is something which is achievable. The 4-year CAGR up to financial year 2018, revenue 44.4%, PAT 55%, so it's regarded as a double-digit growth year on year. This highlights some of the achievement for 2018. I do not want to go through that detail. What it basically says here is we have done acquisitions. People will ask, more acquisitions in 2019? Answer is no, we will concentrate and nurture the acquisitions of company that we have, unless there is something which really too good to decline. Then we will look into it. If not, we will focus and spend the initiative efforts to nurture all the acquisitions of the company that we have acquired before this. And I would say that we have done quite well. CSC Global is issuing dividend up to today 10.2 million ringgit Malaysia. And then healthy order book. In terms of the management accounts, we are sitting inside there as the board of directors. All the corporate plans and other things are moving quite nicely. Alsaga is in red. Now it goes back to profitability for 2018. Green and Smart, there is more to do. We are working very hard so that we want to move this Green and Smart to a higher level. Achievement so far, if you look at all those results and so on, I know that it is not that good, but we are monitoring, we are putting in more efforts, we are putting in bigger plans. We hope 2019 will make changes into Green and Smart. Other than that, I do not see any problem. Orders are coming in from Shrimp Serba. This is a manufacturing entity in India, manufacturing steam turbine. Sycon, of course, is a boutique engineering company. It integrates into the integrations of the total solutions that we are providing to our customer, which is actually providing quite successfully because when the oil price is fluctuating and volatile in this situation, a lot of asset owner, especially for like Petronas, Mubadala, and so on, they would, if possible, the assets that they have, they want to upgrade it and not buying new assets. Yeah? So these boutique engineering capabilities come in and suit very well into the expectation and the requirements of the customer. So it helps in terms of the solutions that we are providing to the customer. What this says is, this for 2018, we achieved the order book target of 7.5 billion, but 2019, we are looking at 10 billion. These are some of the very important project developments, what we call it as Pengerang Eco Industrial Park, Bintulu Integrated Energy Hub, which you will see some of the photos later on, is progressing well. Expansion or expanding global presence for 2019, we entered Tanzania, a new country, Kazakhstan, a new country, Laos, a new country, Uzbekistan in Central Asia, a new country in terms of our geographical positionings of revenues to come in to Serba Dinamik Group. Some of the initiatives in 2009 which we are having challenges, we make a statement that by year end 2018 we should achieve 200 megawatt. We failed. We did not achieve that. We only managed to achieve 120 megawatt only. Reasons behind it, quite a number. Among others, we will say that the local political environment, everybody knows, would not want to elaborate more. Of course, some of the projects are delayed because of the weather conditions. Yeah? But efforts are put in, and I strongly believe that things will go back to normal with a delay of approximately 6 months as per the original schedule. Synergical partnership, would not want to go through, I've explained, except for this. This is Inoa. Inoa is an IT solutions provider based in India, based in Chennai, India. They also have operations in California, in Westlake Village in California. And they also have operations in New Zealand and also Australia. Why do we acquire this company? Because if you look at the start of what we have presented, we have IT solutions as one of our capability which we are nurturing. Yeah? And again, all the engineering solutions that we are providing, we have to tie up also to the IT capability. And IT capability is the key to what people term it now as Industry Revolution 4.0. Eh? And we are very much into Industry Revolution 4.0. And it is very important for us so that this technology can help to produce or create or forward a value-added solutions to our operation and maintenance. So how it works and so on, I think if there is Q&A on that, we will elaborate more. But in summary, this is very important to the future growth and positioning of Serba Dinamik as a global, credible engineering entity. Yeah? Global positioning, we are in the America, north, south of America. We are in Europe, we are in Africa, we are in Middle East, one of the longest region that we have been in, more than 18 years now. But unfortunately, we really cannot speak that fluent Arabic because most of the people over there are Indian and Pakistani. They are the professionals who run the business over there. So our interactions day to day is still in English. We are also in Asia Pacific. Of course, Malaysia is a very stronghold of Serba Dinamik. Singapore become very strong because of CSC Global. It's quite a big operations over there in Singapore, very professionally managed and organized. Indonesia, we have been there for more than 8 years. Laos, we are coming in for the hydropower plant. New Zealand and Australia, very much via our CSC Global presence over there. And of course, this Central and South Asia, Turkmenistan, India, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, all the TAN here. If there is questions, we will answer. And project updates. Go through quickly. This is done. This is at the early stage. And this falls under what we call it as the asset ownership business model. So you will see that. In this asset ownership business model, for example, let's take this particular LNG facility. This is building LNG infrastructure or the facility. Yeah? We are not producing LNG. The LNG will be provided by the off-taker. So we are just building the facility, they use that facility and they pay for the service. If you look at it, what we are saying is, in this example, we own 42% as an equity stakeholder. And how much do we pay? We pay 16 million plus 10 million RCPS. And the project profit, if it is up running, is talking or looking at 6.7 million per year. So this will be expected profitability coming in based on the projections of this project. But more importantly, we would like to highlight that there is an EPCC component, which is 332.8 million ringgit Malaysia. For EPCC, we can get GP, a gross profit of 15 to 17% margin. So meaning to say that if let's say we put at 15, so it comes up to something like 40, 45. 46, 47 million, something like that. And that money, if you look at what we've invested to buy up the equity, the profitability from here should be able to cover the investment that we've put in. That is what we are trying to say. And then on top of that, the dividends from the profitability as the equity stakeholder will also come in once the facility is up running. So more or less, this is what we planned when we embark on this asset ownership journey. The rest, as what has been shown over here, I would like to highlight that water treatment plant, yes, we were given the EOT, extension of time 1 year, because of the change of government. This is in Terengganu. And everything has been discussed, negotiated, and it goes back to normal. And we are running the project as what it is supposed to be. So we do not foresee issues or problem on this. Chloroalkali plant in Tanzania moving very nicely. Hydropower plant Kota Marudu, this is the one that we are facing problem because of the weather. In 2018, Kota Marudu is very near to the seaside, and 2018 has not been a good year for this project. It's always raining almost every month, up to a level that the flood has occurred and cut off the road that we have constructed to bring the equipments, consumables, and so on to the site of where the project is to be carried out. But now the weather is very good. We are expediting, and we are given EOT up to end of this year to complete it off. So what we are saying here is construction in progress. First plant to commence operation in third quarter of 2019, which is contributing 11 megawatt to the entire value of 29.1 megawatt. The balance of the two plants should come in stream by December 2019 also. Hopefully the weather will be kind to us. That is very, very important. The Laos, no issue. The progress are moving quite nicely. These are the photographic outlook for the LNG facility in Lumut, Perak. This is a very early stage doing the site survey and site due diligence to meet the EIA requirements, environment impact assessment requirements, and other due diligence thing. This is some of the photographic activities of the water treatment plant in Kuala Terengganu. This is the chloroalkali plant. This is not a Google map. It is true. You can see that these people are not really Asian people. These are Tanzanian people. By the look and the color of it, to confirm that this is a project in Africa under the country of Tanzania. Hydro power plant Kota Marudu, massive activities going on at the moment. And Laos, very early stage of the road construction going to the site. And Pengerang Integrated Development Project, I will say that pilings are actively going on. You will see that this is a drainage system which is being built at the moment. And we hope that the MRO sections should be up running by middle of next year. Is a project developments with all the components that has been mentioned here: plant turnaround village, inspection, repair, maintenance, MRO, and also the Pengerang International Commercial Center. We also have a TVET inside there, and the logistic support that is needed for the entire infrastructure or the facility built inside here. Open for discussion. I know a lot of people would like to ask, are we entering into the property development? Answer is no. If you want more answer, more reasons, please do ask after this. These are some of the figures in terms of the contributions that is going to come in once the project is up or running. Bintulu Integrated Energy Hub, again, for us is very important. The MRO section. This will be faster. I think some of the analysts and so on, we have brought them over to see the site. The MRO sections we are looking at by third quarter of 2019, this year, it should be up running. What does it mean by up running? Meaning that the facilities are moved in, the equipments are tested, and we can use it to provide the necessary maintenance, repair, overhaul to our customer. Who are there? Malaysia LNG, ASEAN Bintulu Fertilizer, Bintulu Port, the Sakura Alloy Plant, we have contracts with them, or the customer in Samalaju Score area, which is very near to this facility. And we also have, if you look at it, factory number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, these are actually all fabrication facility. Yeah? You will soon have a very big announcement of sizable projects coming up in Bintulu, which is the methanol plant, $3 billion project. It has been announced 2 times already, and this time is going to kick off. It's no more announcement. And we strongly believe that, in fact, we are expediting this facility so that it can be ready when all these sizable projects are up running. Yeah? LNG rejuvenation for Plant 1 is also in the process. It should be coming up third quarter of 2019. It's also very big opportunities there. So I would say that these facilities, when it's up running, will position Serba Dinamik as a different entity from the eye of the customer and also from the perspective of Malaysian company from the regional global aspect. A lot of OEMs came to meet up with us, discussing how this facility can help them in terms of giving the service after sales support. Yeah? Because there are a lot of equipments that they have sold to all these oil and gas players, the industry over in Score, Sarawak Energy Power Plant. They need all these kind of repair capabilities so that the equipments can be supported when it fails. Yeah? So that is the idea or the reasons behind the establishment of all this investment. And the financial review, half an hour, almost half an hour. Where we are. The total revenue, 3.28 billion ringgit Malaysia, is not US dollar. Azan was smiling, he was expecting US dollar. So it's 3.28 ringgit Malaysia. We make a growth of 15 to 20%. And I will say that if we look at the compositions of the contributions, the activity breakdown, operation and maintenance still the major contributor. It contributed to 89.3%. The rest comes from EPCC and also others. These others is what I mentioned just now, the IT solutions and also the training and education. And let's go a bit more into all this operation and maintenance. So what is operation and maintenance? What differs Serba Dinamik from the day it's not a private entity as compared to it is a listed entity now? When we were a private entity, we lack of funding to positions our capability as a O&M company. We only be able to do site overhaul, repair, maintenance job. Yeah? What it means here is we mobilize our skilled people, our tools, equipment to the site of the customer and carry out all those maintenance, repair activities at site where the equipment is located. But equipments might have major failure and they need to be brought to workshop because they need more sophisticated repair machines. Yeah? So all these repair machines, they are CNC in nature. which means computer numerical control equipments, where it will have all the capabilities to carry out the precision cutting and also repair that is needed there. So when we got ourselves listed, we invested into all these things. This Pengerang Eco Industrial Park, Bintulu Integrated Energy Park, is heading towards that direction. All this while, when all these things are required, the customer, like Petronas, Shell, Nippon, and so on, what they will do is they will send it out to the nearest workshop available surrounding, which is talking about in Singapore. And why in Singapore? Because Singapore, the political situation, the infrastructure, the policies of investment is more attractive. And a lot of manufacturers invested and stations all these repair capabilities in Singapore. So there is a lot of equipment going in, out, elements from different locations. So once we have this facility, house just nearby to them, there is no reason why they need to send it out. And the customer would like it because it helps them to reduce down the downtime, the loss of productions. So, and more importantly, another features that differentiate Serba before and after listing is we have the ability to manufacture parts. Yeah? La Rapida is a company that can manufacture parts of major component of gas turbine, steam turbine, compressors, and so on. Yeah? And they are manufacturing under the right legal framework. Is not copying or illegally stealing other engineering drawing and manufacture it. No. They are doing, and they are vendor to a lot of major manufacturers like Hitachi, Mitsubishi, GE, Siemens, and so on. So with this kind of capability in-house within Serba Dinamik, then we become more competitive and more profitable, because before this we have to buy it from buying house, package it together and give it to the customer. But now we have in-house within our family of the company, and we can also push for better delivery, and the profitability of the margin is definitely much higher. Yeah? So that changed the landscape of Serba Dinamik. And with that, we actually have managed to increase up. You can see that fourth quarter 2017, 84.4%. Fourth quarter 2018, 89.3%. It's an increase in that area. And don't worry, because operation maintenance is a very good business. Because regardless of how the economic situation, conditions, people said 2019 is the peak where it's going to jump down. But for us, oil and gas, so far, I think is still very, very bullish, very, very attractive. Yeah? Let's talk about it later on. Geographical breakdown, we see that Malaysia, people said Serba Dinamik is pampered. Serba Dinamik depends on Petronas. No. Malaysia contribution is only 28.5%. The book shows it. And Middle East is still the majority revenue contributor, 56.8%. Central and South Asia coming up 10.2%, Indonesia 2.1%, Tanzania 2.3%, Europe 0.1%. Moving forward, we want to reduce down this component. And I will say that Central and South Asia will have increment, Tanzania will have increment, Europe, I would say more or less will still be around that figure. So meaning to say that we want to spread out the risk of the dependence on one region. So we are working hard on that. Malaysia will still maintain roughly around 28-30%. Profit dividends, I would say, if you make a comparisons between the years, we do have improvement, and some of the salient informations over here. For financial year 2017, we managed to declare dividend. This is important, because everybody is looking at dividend. 6.8 cent per share. Financial year 2018 approved by the board is looking at 8 cent per share. Still got time, I said. Still got time, huh? Okay, so this is what has been approved by the board already, yes. And I would say other important informations, the two aspects of the financial is there. You can ask any other question later on. Debt ratios still within quite reasonable, acceptable figure. Gearing ratio 0.82, net gearing ratio 0.45%. And other than that, I would say gearing level remains healthy, and ROE and ROA were diluted for financial year 17 and financial year 18 due to IPO and private placement respectively. The profitability is still maintained as before. And I would say more importantly is the PAT, which still maintains within the expected figure of approximately around 11%. Proceeds utilizations, as what has been shown here, there are still money which is left because we have to utilize in accordance to what has been declared to Security Commission. But of course, we are looking at other things which will comply to the scope of the utilizations accordingly. Okay, I think that more or less gives the overview of what Serba Dinamik Holdings is, and I pass it back to Chairman.